I want to run home. I don't know what they paid for the ticket when they don't really care. Maybe there's a good cookie baker. I'm going to cry.
It is what it was.
Making less than what we invested is not our goal. We're halfway through with the setup and I'm pretty happy so far, and we have a very, very kind neighbor, and this makes the convention a lot nicer because you have someone to talk to and it's not a grumpy old man. That's what I was afraid of, that I have a grumpy neighbor and the whole energy drops right when you enter the room. I have to put up more sticker sheets over here, and I have empty space here, so I don't know what I will do with this because I don't want to have a lot of empty space that is visible empty. And there is the emptiness in the sense of that the eye finds some rest, but this is like empty space that you can tell, oh, something is missing or it wasn't planned out properly, as it is the case in this case. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm a little bit, so I'm not nervous, I'm not overwhelmed, but anyways, I want to run home. I tend to do that because I can just hide myself, and yeah. There are a few things we forgot, but that's okay because we drive home in the end of the day after setting it all up, and we come here tomorrow morning again. I'm happy when we're back home, finding some rest, and we will see what tomorrow brings. And also Sunday, our placement is very good, so people have to go through our table to get to the artist alley, as far as I know. I may be mistaken, but I hope I'm not. Hello, hello, my friends. We're almost done with the setup. We only have to put up the glasses, and I use the empty space to place more magnetic bookmarks on the grid, and then we're finally done. There are a few things we have to print at home because we forgot it, as I mentioned, and that should be it for today. The exciting part will come tomorrow and on Sunday, but I don't think I will vlog too much because it's my first convention, and I don't want to overwhelm myself, and therefore take it easy. And is that das ist meine Tasse. Here I placed more of the magnetic bookmarks to fill in the empty space. We have the prints on top because they're the largest one, and keychains, die-cut stickers, sticker sheets, and also the wooden boards. We placed 2 more wooden boards on the side because we have space here. Maybe I will put something up here, but I don't know what. Some stickers. Then we have mini prints over here, and for this we forgot the small printout where the people can see what prints are in that little box. Mystery bags, glasses, and some wooden utensils. And I really, really love this one. This is so fun. I could do this all day long. Well, for the first setup, not too bad. One thing I'm a little bit disappointed in is that when I see other when I see other artists vlogging about conventions, they generally have such a nice tag, such a nice lanyard, but we only have these paper wristbands, and this is so sad because I thought I'm having a wonderful lanyard as a memory, but I only have paper. I'm cold. I think my lips are a little bit blue as well, but I'm pretty sure it's getting warmer over the time because of all the people that are coming through, and also because of the excitement, maybe, I don't know. Day 1 officially started and we were about half an hour too late, but that's fine because vendors and also artists are still building up their booth and there's not much of a crowd. This is how the booth currently looks like, and we added some twinkling lights. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but you can definitely see it in person because We kind of are left behind when it comes to all the other booths. So I thought this would be a nice addition, and it certainly does a good job. So, my dear people, I thought I'm going to take you with me on a little trip around. Alright, the artist alley. I only took a very short round in the artist alley because I find it kind of confusing. Maybe it's just me, probably it's just me, but I didn't know where to turn. So I went back and head back to our table. So far it's pretty slow and I don't know how others are doing. People are interested, but actual customers are rare. We're only 3.5 hours into the convention, 6.5 are left, and we also have Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that and hope for the best. It is 4:30 p.m. and I have customers. I also talked with my neighbor and he agreed that this is a very slow day. He's an actual merchandise vendor, having all of these pillows and plushies, and he really hopes that Sunday is a better day. And I said maybe the evening is a little bit better because there will be a concert, so there might be people coming, especially because of the concert, and also that there is not a real theme to the whole convention. So it's more a game convention with not so much focus on something. So they said it's tabletop games, but it's not really focused on tabletop games. And you don't see a lot of cosplayers, for example, and you really see a lot of people that are unusual, you can say. I mean, like, I wouldn't expect to see such people on a convention. And many come through, walk by, and don't really care. I don't know why they paid for the ticket when they don't really care. Maybe there's a good cookie baker in the convention. Who knows? But after visiting the second part of the artist LA and seeing all the artists with like faces of frustration and they smiled like me, yeah, smiling, but you feel so frustrated because the expenses were okay, but still you have to earn the money to cover the expenses. I'm tired, I'm cold, and I don't know what's the matter with this convention because I also haven't seen any advertising in the streets for it, which is kind of weird because I thought a convention like this big or medium sized big would be advertised properly, but it is not the case. And now I'm sitting here and drinking my water. Hello everyone, day 2 officially started and I'm pretty cold. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the tips of my nails are purple, which indicates that I'm cold, and after purple they turn blue, and after blue they turn orange, but it's still in the purple range, so it's okay. And in case this convention goes as slow as yesterday, I'm going to cry. because it's very quiet right now, and I thought I'd give you a little update. And with all the people I talked so far, they all have the same opinion that this con was not properly planned through, and that most of the people, most of the visitors are very, very much mixed up. And there are a lot of small children, and these small children they just don't know what to do with art. So they're interested in plushies or in figurines and in Pokemon and stuff. But even through the vendors have Pokemon and very common and known items, they don't make that much profit. And I also heard from a few people that they're struggling even getting the table costs in. Yeah, we're struggling too. It's a disaster. I don't feel well. I really don't. I can lie to you and then say that everything is fine and I made so much profit and it was amazing, but it's not. Let's be honest here, it's not. It's just very frustrating because you spent so much time, so much money, and so much effort, and nothing comes back. So there's so many people, but they're all seem to be watchers and not buyers. They think about it as a little adventure. Instead of going to the cinema, they go here because the tickets are only 15 euro. And I'm also disappointed because what was told us isn't true. We were told that we would be placed next to a vendor that has very good customer coming by. I just can't figure out the word right now. So I had a very good customer flow. And to me, this sounds like that the convention was at least once before, but it's not the case. This is the first time. And this doesn't make sense because when you tell someone this vendor has very good customer flow, however, that's not true because you don't have experience with the vendor, if that makes sense. Moreover, we were told that everyone has to pass by. Everyone has to pass our table to get into the artist alley, but it's also not the case. There are many open doors, and the artist alley has a separate entry. And we have a very good placement. Not gonna lie, the placement is really great because we were right in the center, and when you come in, you straight will see us. You know, it just doesn't do anything for us. And we're sitting here, and I'm having the time to talk to you.
It's officially over, and I'm officially over as well. But I'm quite impressed that my skin still looks so good, makeup wise, because in general, when I spend hours out, my skin looks really cakey. But the new makeup I tried is amazing. At least one good thing, you know. And now I'm eating some vegetables and other stuff. I prepared buckwheat and I made some, we call it puks because we don't like the word of, I don't know how you actually would call it, but it's chickpea flour, some spices, baked, and maybe you can call it pancakes, savory pancakes, but yeah, we call it puks because they're a little bit harder. Puks comes from the puk from hockey. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Like the convention, it is what it was.
A little disclaimer here, the main reason why I attend conventions is not so much the profit only reason, but mostly because my mother and I really wanted to take some time off for ourselves for so many years, and we did not. We don't drive anywhere to take 2 days for us away from home. Conventions came in quite handy. Of course, we want to make profit, so we're not just there just for fun. It's hard to describe. It's like a business trip where you enjoy yourself and make money. For us, we at least want to have some profit. We don't have to make like millions on a convention to be happy with, but making less than what we invested is not our goal. Hello everyone, welcome back to my living room. It's been a few days, but today I'm going to give you my honest review on the convention. What was good, what could be improved, and there are a lot of things that can be improved, but I will not go into details. This would make like a whole separate video, and I don't want to do too much rant over here. Overall, the organizers were very kind and supportive and helpful. It never seemed like we were bothering them with our questions. Nice. Really nice. But in the end, there were many misunderstandings, or maybe they just didn't know how to set everything up and thought it would work differently before they actually planned the placements of the whole convention. This was the first thing we were a little bit frustrated about. We were told that we have a placement next to a person that has good customer frequency, which I already talked about at the convention. It sounded like this person was multiple times already on the convention, or at least one time. However, this was the first time this convention took place, so they actually didn't know how the frequency would be for this convention. Moreover, we thought that the person next to us would be an artist as well, but the person was an actual merchandise seller, and the placement itself was really good. We were next to a plushie vendor, the figurine vendor, which we thought would be an artist, and right on the opposite of us there were swords, katana, but of course no actual real katana, because this probably is not allowed at convention due to safety. So we were in the center of three very popular vendors. This is what you think, but yeah, the big but. They told us that everyone has to walk by our table, which wasn't true either, because there were multiple entries and the artist alley had a separate entry. The visitors did not have to go through the vendor hall to go to the artist alley or to any other part of the convention, and it was very widespread. The vendor hall, the artist alley, a second artist alley, the plus 18 section, a dancing area, a play area, a tabletop area, and there wasn't really a cohesive theme throughout the convention. Also, which I found very confusing when I first went upstairs to the artist allays, I thought, oh, now they're waiting, I think 70 artists or something that I can discover. I walked through a very small hall with 10 artists on each side or something, and then I walked through a door, and then there was empty space. Behind that empty space was a half open door and stairs leading you back downstairs. This area, this naked area, was not very inviting, and it didn't seem like that up behind that half open, half closed door was anything. So I was confused and went back downstairs. But you actually have to go through that door to enter the larger artist alley, which I then eventually did later on. From what I heard at the convention, also after the convention, most people weren't very happy with what they earned. And that's not about if you're a vendor or an artist. Vendors and artists, vendor hall, artist alley, the general attendees weren't happy. I saw it with the plushies and the swords, and I heard it directly from artists at the convention. With some I talked after the convention that it wasn't very profitable and it wasn't for us. only a few people were happy with what they earned. However, these few people were mainly those that did this as a hobby and just to test it out. So I don't think you can count this in, give it credibility in the sense of making profit. Because when you go to a convention, you want to make profit, you have to make a living from it when you're doing this as a main job. Yeah. Keep the whole story short, it wasn't planned thoughtfully. That's it, full spot. It was a nice convention with very nice people. The visitors seemed to be interested, but they were all watchers and not buyers. And this is not very helpful if you want to grow a business, if you want to have income. The table itself, or the table space, because we brought our own table, was for 2 by 1.5 meter, which is I think 7 by 5 feet or something, was about €160. We had gas, which was about €80, and the hotel room was about €80 as well, which comes down to €320, which is not that much, at least in my opinion. However, we didn't make any profit, and this is like insane. And when I heard that artists had a single table for €60, and they came there by train back and forth for 2 days, €20, let it be 100 in total, and they didn't make any profit. This is insane. Yeah, I just really hope that for the up and I really hope for next year they take all the feedback and put it into action, because this convention can be something really, really great. And I definitely will join again with a little bit of suspicion. But it's just a convention that's very nearby, it was easy to reach, and being part of something that just started out can be a huge help. Having a community, having someone to talk to, and maybe someone supporting you, because I'm a business in the end and I want to be supported, yeah? So on thinking into the future. And when they really put it into action, it will be a great convention. But for the first time, I'm not very happy. It was too much all over the place. It wasn't cohesive at all, and they really have to point out what this convention is actually about. My booth neighbor had the idea to maybe change up the name or have something more specific as a theme, because Krönchen is like crown in the sweet form of crown in Germany, is maybe not that great of a choice, because you not straight think of the main part of the convention. Yeah, crown, I'm the king. I'm the king of what? And also the mascot, which is a raccoon, I think. A king raccoon? What is a king raccoon? I have no idea. It's a cute animal with a crown. And I will leave it like that, because that's everything I have to say here. For now, I'm looking forward to my next convention, which is Connichi, a larger convention in Germany, which is already very popular. And there are great news I want to tell you in my next video, which I plan to do earlier this time, quicker. So stay tuned for that. We will see in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until then, have a great time and goodbye.